Hey folks, this is BestInSlot. Welcome back to Jurassic World Evolution 2. That's a weird sentence to say. This is the other part of my gameplay for the game. It's worth mentioning this is the first part I recorded. I just felt challenge mode was more important, so I wanted to showcase that first. But this is a campaign mission you're about to see. And yeah, I played about 40 minutes of this little campaign mission in this big snowy wilderness. Really cool stuff. Don't know where in the game this takes place. It wasn't introduced like that. You know, I just clicked campaign and it took me straight into the level, basically. But let's get started. So we're going to Washington. A dinosaur poacher ring has recently been broken up by the authorities, and after a disaster at their camp, dangerous dinosaurs are now on the loose.
I wish we'd had more time to brief you, but as you know, the situation is fluid. Our Canadian friends are concerned that many of these wild animals are getting close to their border. We'd like to prevent them from crossing it. We being the CIA. My division is the DSD, Dangerous Species Division. I'm Dr. Dua. I have an extensive background in paleo research in this very field. At Jurassic World, and now other locations I'm not at liberty to discuss. However, I have history with many of the people involved here. A poacher camp. What remains of it, anyway. Amateurs. They only succeeded in getting themselves and others killed. And making our job that much more difficult.
So, Dr. Dua now works for the CIA in her brand new role.
Dr. Dua, the dinosaurs are still agitated.
Tranquilizing them would appear to be the best option at this point.
Let's do it as safely and quickly as we can.
You're going to see some real bad shooting here, folks. Some really... Later on, you're going to see some fantastic shooting. Right now, you're going to see some really bad shooting. But yeah, Dua now works for the CIA in their Dangerous Species Division, the DSD. So all the old characters have been brought back in some degree. It seems the other two are kind of still working in park management, but Dua's taken her skills predominantly elsewhere. Although she popped up in the park video as well, didn't she? So, I don't know what's going on there. Anyways, so we're at this abandoned poacher camp. Things have gone badly. There's snow everywhere. This is a really good look at the weather system in the game. Snow absolutely coated the entire landscape. It's still, you know, in the middle of like a proper blizzard. It's really cool looking. And first things first, we have to contain the Carnotauruses. So you can see here already this feels... You know, we started in the helicopter and there's no buildings to be seen. You know, this feels quite different from other campaign missions did in Jurassic World Evolution. It does revert to type a little bit, but then it mixes things up again. And I'm really hoping... You know, I've only played this campaign mission. I'm really hoping that's something that's continuous throughout the campaign. You know, that they mix up the gameplay a little bit. That we... God, so bad. So bad. They mix up the gameplay a little bit. We keep doing different things. You know, we keep exploring different locales and gameplay options.
Has key players. It also has key facilities that it needs to run effectively. So you should get started with the construction of an arrival building, a control center, and also a backup generator to supply power.
Cabinets everywhere. So we're trying to establish a facility containing the following: arrival point facilities. That's just telling you where they are. So control center, blah 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 blah. And what we can do, you know, we want to make that happen quickly, or we don't want the Carnotauruses to escape at this point. Here I am trying to show you the security badges on the fences, by the way. You got to remember, I had never played the game at this point in time. This is before I got my hands on challenge mode. But I figured this is a good time to pause the game. And indeed it was. And it's gone crazy over there. I didn't notice that last time. I might talk quietly for the rest of this video. That's all the management panels for those of you who were curious about those. Bloody Nora. Buddy, why do you hate me? Why have you chosen today of all days? Why today of all days? Anyways, control center. Best slot you need one of those. Good job, buddy. Now, I had a very embarrassing moment at some point in this video, which I will discuss later. What else we need? We need an arrival point. No. I'll get there eventually. I was just kind of looking at the buildings. I was excited, you know, I'd never seen any of this stuff before. The campaign was definitely more limited, I would say, than the I couldn't find operations. It's more limited than the challenge mode we had access to. I suspect this is quite early in the campaign. I don't know when it is, but it's definitely early in the campaign. Do you know, introduce yourself for the very first time. Just looking at feeders and stuff. This is the one problem we put in this video second, but I know what my audience wants. They want blimmin' blammin' Mosasauruses. But I really hope you guys enjoy it. There's some cool little features on this campaign mission. It's got a couple of things that I think, you know, a lot of us really wanted to see for a Jurassic World Evolution campaign. And here is where I got confused when nothing was happening. I was paused, of course. And we speed up time. Again, still a fantastic feature. It really is. Get all those buildings built nice and quickly. There we go. Look at that. Bingo bango. Job's a good one. I love the lines as well. The lines make me so happy. This is where you'll see me do that quite a lot because, you know, I'm so used to pressing the spacebar key to bend my path. And now we don't do that anymore. And there's me trying to connect to the generator via path, which you also don't need to do anymore. You probably do with the bigger ones, but I never got hold of those.
Not bad if I do say so myself. And I guess I am. But we're also going to need a response facility. Your response to this directive should be to get one built. Huh? You see what I did there, huh? Response. Never mind. Don't respond.
Cabot is the same man he always was. Cabot has not changed in the slightest. And some things don't change, ladies and gentlemen. Some things do not change. And that is one of them. Cabot will always be Cabot. If you loved Cabot, you'll still love Cabot. If you don't love Cabot, well, he's not going to convince you anymore. The buildings look different to them. Am I crazy?
Dinosaurs into new holding enclosures.
The ones we've already captured.
Yep, that's right.
And we'll want them awake and as comfortable as possible.
Am I crazy? Or did that viewing gallery look different? I'm wondering if there's more varied styles of buildings than I have seen. We kind of suggested that much for the aviary because we saw like a glass version and a wire bar kind of version. So I'm wondering if the same applies to viewing galleries and stuff like that. That's an interesting idea. Strength game. Ooh, BestInSlot, what are you doing? I was curious about the information, I suppose. There's Arcano. Yeah, so as you see, you don't really get the information because we don't have it set up. But there's our Death Valley with the Rhino, so it does have like a custom pattern on it of some description. Medium carnivore, population, likes Allosaurus, dislikes other carnivores, infamy level, all those different stats there at the bottom. It's cool stuff. Build a fence. There we go. So the gates are actually the highest value. They are a 5-star setup, surprisingly. As the large electric fence is only 4. I believe the carnivores require a 5. I don't know if that's something else we can do somehow. But I was quite surprised that they required such a high level fence and the large electric fence didn't cover that. So I guess it's like electrified concrete is what you need to guarantee the containment of these large carnivores.
Heading to collect the asset.
Heading to collect... I'm so happy she's back. So we're just trying to get our carnos safely enclosed. You can see there's the fence again, building slowly along. By the time they get collected, it's never a problem, really. I wasn't allowed to view the database. I was hoping that by viewing the database, or by something else on this screen, I could maybe get hold of all the different species in the game. Wasn't to be. They were they were on to me. They knew what I wanted. They weren't going to let it happen. The cheeky little blighters. So it takes a little while. You can see this is on normal time, so you can see. Oh, now it's not anymore. But you can see that the fence. It takes a little bit of time. Not so slow that it's a problem, really, if you're just moving dinosaurs across in a normal way. But you know, it stops what it should stop. Basically, you can see there's a little the Game and Fish logo on the side, which is cool. It doesn't seem to be color customizable. This color seems to be just a feature of this fence. Basically, I did suggest maybe it would be because the color looks. It's kind of got that pastel look that looks like it could be customizable, but not the case. Have a little sit down, have a little nap.
Asset transportation complete.
Oh, you are going to see some hunting in this one. It's only on a goat, but you are going to see it, and it's pretty cool, it must be said. It's pretty cool. I'm quite excited to show you that, actually. Yeah, Carno, there you go. What am I doing? No idea. I'm putting the goat in now. Yeah, the goat, so the main thing we wanted to see with the animations was a smoothness to them, so that the animation doesn't... Like, the goat doesn't line up and then the carnival lines up behind it and they kind of just, you know, play out this really canned, obvious animation. And from what I saw in this, and hopefully you guys will see in a second, that does seem to be gone. See, Carnival runs forward, turns the corner, grabs the goat, like, knocks it up into the air, grabs it. Look at that! How good is that, other than running into the tree? That was awesome. I was really excited when I saw that. Like, it knocks it up, well, it knocks it down, like, rams into it, as a Carnotaurus maybe would want to, and knocks it into the air, and then when it lands, you know, ram, nom, 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 nom. I thought it was really cool. And I just really liked how smooth it was. There was no suggestion there that it was a static start and stop point. You know, it started running, sure, it has to start running at some point, but then it just ran and it curved and it turned and moved with the goat. They've done a really good job of smoothing that out, because that was one of my big problems with the first game. I'm really glad to see that's changed. So we need to make our Carnotaurus happy. Here I'm just trying to look at all the buildings. So of course, if you want to make your dinosaurs happy, you have to know what they're upset about in the first place. And to do that, you're going to need these little ranger outpost things. Plop that down. And then we need to set our ranger team to it, which is over here. You can do it, BestInSlot. I believe in you. You got this past me. This is like 3 weeks ago now I played this. You have any idea how hard it is to keep your mouth shut for 3 weeks? It's so difficult, I swear. It's not easy. It's really not. I did it again. It's so good. Oh, it looks so much better. It really does. It's the same animation as you would expect, but the repetition of animations was never my personal problem with it. It was how stiff and stilted they felt, you know? Having a little scrap over there in the corner, but I'm looking at the car. Look at them! Look at them! Fighting like ceratopsids or like Pachycephalosaurus. Again, using the horns, using their big chunky heads. There's some... Drive, car, drive! Get out of there, you fool! Oh, he's doing it at this point. Oh, yeah, so they don't actually... It's weird. The ranger outpost, they don't do anything at the outpost. They kind of... I don't know if they're like collecting info from it or something, because what they do is they drive to it, and then the guy pops out in the back and he's got binoculars and he kind of like observes the dinosaurs for an amount of time. So you can see here, Carnotaurus needs... it's staring down that car. It needs a lot of sand in order to be happy. You can also see they have a prey requirement. Basically, a goat will fill 2 of those prey requirements, and a placid normal feeder will fill 1. So, dinosaurs, generally speaking, will prefer to hunt if it's a dinosaur that can hunt. That will satisfy their prey requirement more than regular food, but you can use both if need be. So it's a cool little system. I'm still hopeful. You know, maybe there's a cow and stuff. Maybe there's some more that we aren't seeing here, but I find it safer, generally speaking, to just assume that we have what we have, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? I just wanted to see the different terrain types. It was all new. They look really nice, those ones. Big fan. And some calamites. Forest. Just called forest. It's lovely. We've got some cycads. Keep forgetting. Some ginkgos, which are really cool. Really big fan of those. And some seed plants, which are quite nice as well. Again, just nice variety. We've got some ornamental shrubs. Various types. You could use those in the rest of your park as well, probably. And it's nice things like, you know, the contour line option is right there. You know, it's there on the environmental screen rather than off in the back end of nowhere. And what you can really see here more than in the other park, I'd say, with the snow on the ground, is it just feels... I don't know, much more realistic. I mean, look at how all those textures blend together. It's really nice, really natural feeling. It's a good step in the right direction. And I I really struggle to satisfy some of their quotas here. I think the problem is, well, I mean, I didn't get rid of the fence, which helps, but I believe it doesn't change, right? So you can see there, it was on 73%, and it's still 74%. So it's going up, but not by much. It's kind of just hanging around the same number. Oh, that's our overall comfort. What am I on about? I'm wondering if that's just because we hadn't had the Ranger team check in on them at this point, basically. So you'll need to do your Ranger team check to get those updated values, essentially. Which is an interesting idea. I need to play with it more to fully determine how I feel about it. But my solution was to make a gigantic habitat. In retrospect, I don't think it was necessary. I think they probably would have been okay with the one I gave them if I just waited for the update, you know? But as I say, I was kind of... it's just kind of getting to grips with things at this point still a little bit. So. Drive, car, drive. You're not safe in there, you fool. It's kind of... just about to hold on just a second. I don't know if they can break out of the blue. I haven't tried it, but I'm assuming that's the case. There's no point in having your fence take time to build if your dinosaurs can't break out while it's happening. You know what I mean? That doesn't make any sense. So, I'm assuming that's the case. Gonna stick a viewing gallery on there. So, this was my embarrassing moment. I was recording in OBS whilst I did this video. I was doing my voiceover. Unfortunately, I caught the game audio at the same time, and my voice is super quiet in comparison, so it just wasn't particularly helpful, you know, for the purposes of this video. That's why I'm doing voiceover rather than showing you guys my original recording. But I didn't realise that the guy... So basically we all got put into a Discord channel with somebody else, and that's whose screen we were playing on. And I didn't realise he could hear me. And... oh, excuse me. I had no idea he could hear me. And... at this point, he seemed to think I was confused. You know, he's watching my screen, and he seemed to think I didn't know what to do next. Stop for a sec.
Correct, Mr. Finch. We know where they were. But now, Mr. Grady, it's essential that we know where they are.
I know my dinosaurs. I'd say they're headed off in this direction.
And do you know your dinosaurs, Mr. Grady?
Better than anyone.
But these are not your dinosaurs, per se.
Well, you're just gonna have to trust me on this one.
So, whole new thing, this is the wild dinosaur system. You can track them down by following clues around the environment until you find them. It's pretty cool, actually. I was a big fan. Anyways, the guy watching me clearly thought I was a little confused. I did not know until this point he could hear me. I still didn't. I didn't know until the very end of the video. So what he did was he spoke up briefly while I was playing the game. He said, Connor, and I was like, tab down. I'm like, yeah, what's up? And he said, sorry, I'll just shut up for the analysing. So you drive around, you give it a little scan.
This looks promising. You know, not that I'm promising anything.
Drive into it. So we're just tracking a dinosaur by following clues it leaves in the environment. It's really cool. Anyways, so he perked up to say, oh, Connor, to progress past this part of the game. Look at this, by the way, it's a corpse. It's a deer corpse. I haven't seen one alive, but...
about the dinosaurs, but they're not subtle. Wherever they go, they leave a mark.
Sounds like someone I know.
Dr. Malcolm, because that guy, he is out there. Talk about an ego.
As opposed to...
Well, you know, a certain lovable animal behaviorist whose humility has a charm of its own.
Yeah, anyways. And here I realised the voices are quite quiet. I just couldn't really do much about it, unfortunately. But I didn't realise he could hear me. And so he tapped in, he goes, Connor. I was like, yeah, what's up? And he said, at this point, as I flipped the car, he said, at this point to progress, what I think you need to do is buy a viewing gallery thing. And, you know, that's why you just saw me attach a viewing gallery for no discernible point. Because the game did not ask me to do that. Are you going to talk?
Just be ready for anything, alright?
And I tapped back into my game, and I explained it for the purposes of YouTube, planning to cut that bit out. And so I said, alright, so the guy who's hosting me told me to build this viewing gallery. He doesn't know what he's talking about, and he's wrong. But I'm gonna do it in a way to make him happy. I said that, thinking he obviously can't hear a word I'm saying. And I said it in a nice, jokey way, but I did say those words. Yeah, Wild Gallimimus, by the way. There you go. How cool is that? Just a wild dinosaur. Nothing to do with our mission. That's not what we're here for. But just a wild Gallimimus. I thought it was awesome. And I drove into a rock for the celebration. I just felt so embarrassed. I kind of slated the guy a little bit in my own video chat thing, and and then he told me, you know, half an hour later that he could hear me. I don't know what I'm doing right here, honestly. Why am I saying? Oh right, yeah. So this is him trying to fix me. I'd had a little bit of a lag issue around there, so things went a little crazy for a minute. It's just because of the program I was using. I don't know what I crashed on there. Still to this day, don't know.
Like we were getting close.
So as we got a little closer, as we got those, you know, few breadcrumbs, number 4, I think that one was, we can see that the dinosaur we're tracing is an Allosaurus. So initially we knew nothing, and then you might have seen it pop up with like a little carnivore symbol, so we then found out it was a carnivore, and then we found out what carnivore it is, and now we're tracing down the trail of this wild Allosaurus. It's a cool idea. It really is. I'm a big fan. I'm hoping they find some cool ways to integrate it into the rest of the game. Look at the wild Triceratops. Look at it, isn't that beautiful? At this point, I was just going do 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 do. I was very much enjoying myself. Again, not knowing that he could hear me. He was a really nice guy. I don't want to paint a picture otherwise. He was a really nice guy to work with. Really enjoyed it. Anyway, so check those out. Just following those breadcrumbs, which I'm about to drive past. I felt very stupid at several points in this video. It's gonna get worse.
Not too far away now.
Oddly enough, my knowledge about the game kind of came back to bite me in the ass, as you'll see. Look at that, the sauropods, the brachys down by the waterfront. This beautiful wide open area. I really hope the campaign explores stuff like this, and it's not just park building all the time. It's okay even if we do this to supplement the park building, but you know, these little moments like this is kind of what the game's all about for me. It's great stuff. Look at the brachy sitting down. Looks so good sitting down. Look at it more, BestInSlot. No past BestInSlot. Turn around. Again, I was always very conscious that I had a limited time slot, and I was really apprehensive about not getting everything done, you know? More dead deer?
Ambush! Move quickly, but not too quickly. You'll trigger their instinct to chase. Now move! Move!
Owen. Owen, are you okay? What is happening?
Little busy right now.
Please tell me you have things under control.
Do you want me to lie?
If it'll calm my anxiety, yes. I'm a bundle of raw nerves.
We're working the problem.
So, the vehicle we were driving is now being chased by the Allosaurus, as you can see.
Attempt? We need success, Dr. Dua, before it can eat Grady and the others.
No, please don't say that. You believe in a team, right?
You want me to lie?
Wait for this. Oh, baby. What a shot. Again, did not know he could hear me, and I was like cheering and whooping. Woo! I'm the greatest gamer in the world. And again, wait for it. Oh, baby. I was so proud of myself, and I made sure he knew.
Owen, what's our status?
We're close. We have everything almost under control, but the animal is injured. We'll need to get her to a secure enclosure for observation and treatment.
I'll notify Dr. Dua.
Oh, me? I'm fine. Thanks for asking.
So anyway, the Allosaurus was chasing down the car, and Grady in the car, and the whole team there, and we had to chase it down in the helicopter and take it out, and yeah, really cool, nice little addition. I would have loved to drive the car that's being chased as well. I think that would have been really cool, but you know, can't have it all. This was the first very stupid thing I did. We clicked on the Carnotaurus earlier, and we saw that the dinosaur it liked to live with, I believe, was the Allosaurus, right? That was what was listed. It disliked other carnivores, but it liked the Allosaurus. I forgot that. Basically, I entirely forgot. So I made a massive habitat just for the Allosaurus, when I'm pretty sure it could have gone and lived with the Carnotaurus with absolutely no problem whatsoever. It's funny how you can spend so long playing a game, and then all you have to do is mix things up a little bit, and it throws you for such a loop, you know? We have my 20th coughing fit of the night over. We can continue.
Herbivores? What about them?
As long as they stay away from civilization, leave them in place. They'll survive in the wilderness without our intervention, right?
Given time to adapt? Yes, I'd say they will.
I guess that's something we're all gonna have to get used to. Having dinosaurs out in the world.
Is that you talking, or is that the government?
Claire, I am the government.
It's a very Cabot thing to say. Clearly a lot of people from Jurassic World have somehow got high-level jobs in the government in various areas. They do have experience of handling dinosaurs, but they're also all, like, sociopathic megalomaniacs. I'm not really sure how that happened. Anyways, yeah, we're moving our Allosaurus over now. Into his new home. Is that baryonyx? Yeah. Moderate usage of accelerated time to ensure things don't get out of hand. That is going to be very, very true. You really want to keep a lid on that at various points. You really are. I don't know what I'm doing here. Sticking it in for the hell of it. Yeah, so we just need to keep our Allosaurus nicely enclosed and safe. We're going to do some paleo veterinary kind of stuff in a moment. See, we require status check on our Carno. So a guy comes by, he drives by the ranger outpost, and then he goes around and checks on each individual dinosaur past that point. Won't speed up time, so it happens pretty quickly. There he is, there's our Allo on his way over the mountains. Chuka chuka chuka. When I first saw that, I was like, oh, that's a funny looking helicopter, it's going crazy. It's just because it's on accelerated time. It wasn't my brightest day, I've got to be honest. It's funny, I kind of finished this whole session, obviously with challenge mode at the end instead of this, and I sat down and thought, you know what, if I had 2 hours again, I would do everything so differently. Captain Hindsight, it's a powerful thing, it really is. So anyways, we're actually not that far away from the end of challenge mode anyway, I believe. Things are about to get stupid. So, Allosaurus lands, very cool.
Transportation complete.
Have to showcase the rock system there. Nice big chunky rock. Lovely stuff. But of course we can do a little bit more than that with our rocks these days. We need a bigger one than that. Yeah. Let's put it down and then you can click spacebar and it toggles the axis. Like so. Sexy stuff. And there is our Allosaurus. So, needs a status check. You can see it's driving over now to check on our Carnotaurus again. And I just wanted to move the correct one to the top. It's still going to take a little bit of time anyway. This is probably the one out of all the new mechanics. I mentioned in the last video that all the mechanics in the game are a lot deeper, and I really appreciate that, generally speaking. Everything feels a little bit more complex, but not overly complex. Oh, poor Allo. And I really appreciate that. I'm not convinced yet by this outpost system. I'm not necessarily sure what it adds to the game, per se. I'm not like a huge fan of it. I don't know. What I wish it had, I don't know if it has this, and I've been misinterpreting, but I wish it had a kind of a grace period. So, what happens is you check on your dinosaur. I don't know how I'd do it differently. Instead of going to check on each individual dinosaur, I'd have it like you're collecting data from the outpost, or you're resetting the cameras or the batteries or something like that. At the moment, it goes up and it checks each individual... Look how they sit, by the way, it's awesome. It goes up and it checks each individual dinosaur, and your ranger team's just constantly driving around. The only reason it's not bloody here is because it's the Carnotaurus keeps trying to kill it. Drive, little car, drive. You can see part of the bumper fall off there. It's not my favourite new mechanic. It's actually one of my very few criticisms of the game so far, is I would like to see it, I don't know, just less tedious, I suppose. And look how long I've had to wait here for my bloody Allosaurus, And I've only got 2 outposts. Anyways, it's fine. It's not definitely not a big deal. I wouldn't panic about it. Look at the little tire tracks in the snow. Very cool. So it drives up, checks out the ranger outpost. And drives back, and that's going to do the status check on the Allosaurus. Like so.
I'm going to need a paleomedical facility to assess the status of the dinosaur that they're bringing in. We'll need to do a full medical scan. I want to understand what went wrong if we're going to avoid an event like this in the future.
So medical scans are separate from the ranger scans. you need a paleomedical facility. I love how the Carnotauruses say it. You see them in the background. They're amazing. You need a paleomedical facility, and then you get a specific paleomedical vehicle. The white one we saw in the trailer, I believe. And you send that out, and it checks on your dinosaur. It finds out, what's wrong with your dinosaur. How do we cure said dinosaur, basically. So it's two different systems. This one I don't mind as much, because it isn't like on a rotation or anything like that. It's just, okay, we've got a sick dinosaur. We don't know what's wrong with it. Let's send out the team to find out, basically. You can see here how forest hasn't gone up, even though it's got tons of forest. And that's, again, because the ranger outpost needs to recheck on it, basically. I think I'd like to see maybe like a grace period, if you know what I mean. I think I'm getting this correct. Let me see if it changes. I covered this thing in forest. And I think it stays the same, right? I don't even remember anymore. Bit of water. I love how the water looks. On snow in particular. It looks beautiful. Oh, it did go up. Wait, maybe I'm being stupid then. Probably am. Interesting. So, we have our new mobile vet unit. And you can add tasks, and just like the ranger team, but not onto the outpost, you can heal and scan. So, this mobile unit, if your dinosaur is like a little bit injured, they can go and check it out and look after it and, heal it up. But if it's got a more serious ailment, you'll have to do something a little bit different.
Sometimes what a problem requires is a new set of eyes. Let's hire a few scientists with the skills to diagnose these animals. Make sure they are competent with the MVU and can perform medical scans on the dinosaurs. I'm interested to see what we can discover.
Me too, Dua. Me too. I don't work for you. So we can hire more scientists. This is maybe where the scientist's explanation comes from. Using it in a proper challenge mode park feels like a very different thing, but it's not a big deal. They're doing a little check, find out what's wrong with our dino. And we need to get a scientist before we can do that properly. So, scientist management. Hire a couple of people here. Who do I like? Jonathan Mulligan. He looks like a salt of the earth kind of guy. Rayvon Watson is an incredible name. I think I was basically looking at the welfare stat though. So she's got 4, she's got 4. Paul Nishan with a 5. What a hero. I should be hiring Paul. I don't seem to be hiring Paul though. What I really wanted was somebody who wanted to go to Area 51 and believes in goats. Goats? I believe in goats.
We've hired more scientists, per Dr. Dua. So we should have a better handle on the dinosaur's medical status.
Hopefully we'll be able to figure out what went wrong.
Hey, if I've learned anything, it's that these animals are unpredictable. Like people. But with bigger teeth.
Yeah. We should keep an eye on her.
Right. Who? Dr. Dua?
Yes. She's working for the CIA now.
Oh, you'll be pleased to know I'm running a little intelligence op of my own. Looking out for the both of us.
You're a lot more astute than you let on.
Smarter, too.
We have no idea who we're working for at this point. Again, it's a slice of the campaign. Now this, I don't know if you noticed it right there, but this is actually where the issue was. The game wanted me to do a medical scan, and this needs fixing, Frontier, by the way, if you happen to be watching this video. It wanted me to do a medical scan, and it wanted me to hire some scientists to do that scan. But I was able to do the scan without any scientists. So, I just, naturally, by my assumption of just playing the game, I sent my MVU out to do the scan, and I scanned the Allosaurus, and we found out it's got a major injury. It's got like this fracture in its leg from attacking fences. And because that's a more serious injury, it's not one, of course, that the MVU is not going to fix a major fracture in their little van. So what we need to do is knock out the Allosaurus and take it to the paleomedical facility, and it's going to perform the operation there. Now the problem is, because I did the scan before I even got the scientists, which I'm confused about and shouldn't theoretically be possible, the game still wants me to perform the scan on the Allosaurus, but I've already scanned the Allosaurus. Like, I'm done. So I couldn't finish the campaign any further than this point. This was me done. I don't know what lies beyond this point. The guy who was my collab person for this, whose computer I was playing on, he said to me that this is near the end anyway. So I'm hopeful. I'm hoping I didn't miss out on too much, basically. But I don't believe it should be possible to do this, you know? They either need to make it so that the scan doesn't count until you've got the scientists, or they need to make it so that you literally can't scan if you have no scientists, which is what I thought it would be like, because we have to hire scientists, right? So why would we hire them for the scan if we can scan without them? So that absolutely needs a bit of a change. But at the end of the day, if I just waited a little bit, it wouldn't have been a problem. But still, I managed to break the game. That's obviously not a good thing. This is the point we need the scientists for, I believe, not the actual scan. It's this part here where we're actually going to try to cure our Allosaurus. So you knock it out, as you would do for anything else. You get a movement, and you just drag it directly over to the paleo facility. There he goes. Hi, buddy.
Asset has been collected.
And he gets cured by a little robot arm, as you will see. There he is. So the Allosaurus kind of sits there, hopefully less cold than he looks right now, and these arms move around and do science things, basically, and it cures the Allosaurus. So it's pretty cool that the Allo just actually sit there, out there, you know, in the air, in public, visible, blah, 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 blah. Kind of like in zoos sometimes, where you can see the veterinary district, you can see you can see them at work. You can see what's going on there, how long it's going to take, blah, blah, blah. Which dinosaur's currently getting healed up. It's a cool little feature. I just wish I'd done it at the right time, basically. So what I can do here is I can cure my Allosaurus. I'm going to cure that fracture by blowing gas on it. I don't know how it works, but it works. And it becomes ready for transport. The game lets you know, so we can click transport. No, we have to click on the... Yeah, you can see transport button there. And you transport it from your medical facility back to the rest of your park. And that's how it works. Now, I don't know what comes after this, but this is as far as I could personally get. This was as far as it was possible for me to get. I think, in theory, what I could have done is injure my Allosaurus again, and then perform another scan on it and go through the whole rigmarole. But I suspect it ended soon after. I'll check some other people's videos, but this was my first slice of the campaign. So I'll play it out, and I'll... talk about my thoughts on this. Other than this, which I do think is kind of my fault, but I also shouldn't be able to do it, if that makes sense. Like, it shouldn't be within my capabilities to do this in the first place, but also I shouldn't have done it. So I'm going to blame both of us for this. Other than that, and P not opening the goddamn path tool. I really enjoyed this. I think the wild dinosaur hunting is a really cool mechanic. I really liked that. It was nice to have something that kind of breaks away from the typical campaign thing, you know? And the way that this doesn't feel like a park, this feels like something from the Doctor Who DLC, you know? I'm not interested in... I mean, I have a viewing area, that's only because a bloody guy told me to build one. I'm not interested in guest numbers and profit and stuff like that. I'm just building this facility and following the tasks. And I think one of the big problems with Evolution's campaign, and I think they realise this, because I'd say Doctor Who's and Claire's both directly address this, but it always felt like you were just building a park. You know, it always felt the same. Claire's in particular really addressed that, and the main campaign had that problem where it was just, here's an island, make some money. Yeah, sure, some are big, some are small. Maybe you get different buildings at the start, and Sauna had a Spinosaurus and 25 bloody Stegosauruses, but beyond that, it was always the exact same idea. This feels completely different from anything in the original campaign, so I'm really hoping we get lots of this, and maybe there's a couple more ideas out there. I would love to see a level or two where, you know, you don't build any buildings at all. I'm just going to go back to here for this. You know, you don't build any buildings, it's all in helicopters and jeeps, and you're exploring, and, you know, or maybe you're driving and trying to escape from a rampaging Rex or something, you know. Even if they're just super short missions, now that we're not constrained by the boundaries of these islands, and we can jump around and we can do small missions and long missions and stuff like that, I'd love to see it mix up in that kind of way. But it's a promising start, you know? really interested to see how the story works and how all these characters do come back together again. The CIA and, you know, Cabot, and how we're all back together, working together, essentially taking down poacher rings and stuff like that. It's an interesting idea. I'm excited to see how that plays out. But yeah, I enjoyed it. Obviously, most of the new information from tonight was over in the... what do you call it? In the challenge mode mission, which is really cool. I love that they've got a little story of their own and stuff like that. Very excited about Chaos Theory. Chaos Theory has a huge button on the main menu. Look at that. That beauty. Chaos Theory has a massive button on the main menu. I feel like it's going to be more important than we've given it credit for, so very excited to see how that plays out as well. Okay. I think we're done. So that is all my Evolution 2 gameplay. I'm going to break down some stuff tomorrow. I'll do like a new information video for those of you who don't want to disseminate 2 hours worth of gameplay and other people's videos as well into, you know, concise information. I'll do that for you tomorrow. And we'll do a research one and we'll do some other stuff as well. Right, thank you so much for joining me. I will see you lovely folks next time. And of course, remember to subscribe to the channel, etc, etc. It's like a month and a half until the game is out or something crazy like that. So, you know, in no time at all, we'll be playing the campaign here on the channel. We'll be playing all the different modes and I'll have just an obscene amount of content. So make sure you subscribe for that if you like me. Sorry, that was my please like me noise. And I apologise for the coughing fits in both of these videos. It's been... I've got like a little notepad file on my second screen where I'm marking down the times, and there's like 9 or 10 breaks where I have to go back and edit the footage because I know I just died of a coughing fit. So, yeah, I apologise for that, but what you gonna do? Thank you so much for joining me. I'll see you lovely folks next time. Cheers, much love as always. Bye-bye.
Houston, if you're ready, we'll maneuver. Reaching out.